Justin and I, we created the Queer Network. How many years ago?
Honestly, it's like 7 years already.
And we've done so many things with it. Speaking of change, we've
Yeah.
tried so many different things. Everything that we thought was the path and that most of it we loved and it was great. But, we keep changing and evolving. And we've done life stuff now for, I think, a couple of years.
Yeah. This is the 41st episode.
Jesus.
Yeah.
And the other day I had a thought and I mentioned it to Justin and 99% of the time we are in sync
Hmm.
with our thoughts. And you know, before the Queer Network, Justin had a channel that was a great channel that was very
Yeah.
popular. And so I said to Justin, look, I think it's time for a change. I mean, we, can do this life stuff forever, but I think it's time for a change and let's let's change it back to what it originally was, which was the Gay Men channel. And so I think that's what we're going to do.
I think this every time we say it, it just I feel no resistance
Yeah.
in my body. Like I'm not opposed in any way. I think we talked about names and potential of using a different name, but all the reasons that you gave for like, the moment that I was like, oh, that could be the name, still doesn't achieve what we feel the gay men channel achieves in its like title. And I think that's why it just feels really right and correct to
Yeah.
back to that. But explain some of the reasons we really feel like
Yeah.
this is a move that makes sense for us.
But I want to say, I did the last couple of days, I started some resistance came in
Okay.
because um I love life stuff because that's what we always
Yeah.
talk about, life stuff. However, we have a lot of followers, but not a lot of people who engage.
Mhm.
And when we did life stuff, we said, we're just doing this for ourselves, basically, because it's our time to chat and catch up
Yeah.
on stuff. And I always try and get some lesson out of it. And there's always, uh, every day there are life lessons.
Mhm.
So it made a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, why are we changing it? And then I started thinking of different names. And
Mhm.
the reason we also, when we created the Queer Network, we were really sort of thinking big and we thought we were going to create this network.
Huge.
We wanted it to be all inclusive.
We were thinking global.
We were, but we
Yeah.
were also thinking of, not just gay men, but
Oh yeah.
lesbians and trans and everything in between.
Everything.
So, but the reality is, we are two gay men talking about stuff.
And our lives are a gay man's life.
Yeah. And I started thinking too, it'd be fun to, there was a time when we had other people on,
Yeah.
um, and some really good people,
Yeah.
and so I thought, well, it would be fun to do that again.
Mhm.
And the reason, again, because of trying to get more people engaged, when I said to you, well, when people search for something, I think there's probably more people who search for gay than search for queer.
Really.
The younger generation, I never know, is it Gen X or Gen Z or whatever it is,
Yeah.
the one younger than you,
Yes.
right? They're probably searching queer, but there
Or
are,
I would argue they might not even be searching queer even because they seem to be a generation that doesn't want any label.
yeah,
Like they don't even want queer. They just want like I'm me.
yeah.
Yeah.
But from basically your age and beyond my age, I mean, it's gay.
Yeah.
And it says exactly what it is. And so some of the other names I was thinking of, yeah, but it doesn't really give. I mean, I thought of like gay stuff or gay life stuff or
Yeah.
whatever, which are all fine. But the fact is, it's a channel. We're on YouTube.
Yep.
You know, we do a podcast.
Yep.
So why not? When often, just so people know, when we do an episode, I edit it, and then Justin does the social media stuff. But then Justin creates the thumbnail and then starts out with what he thinks the title should be. And
Yep.
then we discuss it. And it often comes to, okay, let's just say exactly what it is,
Hmm.
you know, which was what the last one was with Lifestyle with Francisco.
Yeah.
So why not just call it exactly what it is? It's a
Hmm.
channel for gay men. Now,
Yeah.
we haven't yet because this discussion was just going to be with Justin and I, but then Justin had the idea, why don't we just discuss it on our podcast?
Yeah.
So we're not quite sure where it's going to go or what we're going to do. You know, life stuff, gay men stuff. I mean, it's life stuff.
Yeah.
But I think my thought is more of a gay slant. Like maybe we'll talk about because we talk about politics, we talk about entertainment. So
Yep.
maybe we will talk more about we'll talk if there's anything about gay politics, or there's anything
Yep.
about, gay entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have people on, we'll talk about the dating sites.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk about, but everything we talk about will be now geared towards the gay man,
Yeah. And
right?
I think that we're so excited about it because there really isn't, which is again why we did create the Queer Network, because that doesn't exist yet. And so we
Mhm.
tried to be the first to do it. And in fact, we were the first to do it. It didn't turn into RuPaul's Drag Race, but RuPaul's Drag Race didn't turn into RuPaul's Drag Race until 10 seasons later. Like that's how long something can take to build. And I think that we've just realized, like, oh, our perspective as gay men is not really represented out there in the media landscape. And so obviously and it was cool to represent the queer community as we were doing. And I think we did the best job two white cis gay men could do. We tried to be as inclusive as possible, always getting as many perspectives as possible. But over the years that we were doing it, realized exactly what you've already said, that like we are gay men and
Mhm.
we really represent that portion of the queer community. And I would rather, I want to see a trans person run the trans network.
Yeah.
And maybe one day we all come together to come under the umbrella of the queer network when we have millions of dollars and can support that. But until then, it feels like what you and I do best is represent what gay men are experiencing a lot of the time. And our age range is a part of why that's a
Yeah.
valuable partnership. And we want to have lots of people on, to your point, because we know that gay men are not a monolith. We are
Yeah.
so many different things. And it feels like a much more, like, I feel excited to tackle that with you
Yeah.
rather
Well,
than so broad a spectrum.
yeah. And one of the thoughts I just had, and there'll be many as we go along. And again, going back to, our roots, we can do some stuff that you did with the Game In channel. I mean, you had so
Yes.
much fun with it.
Yep.
I love the stuff when you did this versus this, you
Yep.
know.
Comparison.
But one of the things I think would be great, that I would love to explore again is having a panel, you know.
Yes.
And, podcasts are the thing now. And
Totally.
and so I think we also have to think of that. Like how does this work as a podcast? Because as much as we say we do this for ourselves, I mean, this sort of came about for me because you know what? Damn it, I want more people to watch. I want more people to listen. You
Mhm.
know, Justin had a thought of, well, why don't we just create a new channel? And I said, well, no, I don't want to lose how many do we have?
77,000.
Yeah, or maybe it's a little more. Are you sure?
Maybe more. Yeah, I think it's around in the 70s, high 70s.
So, let's make a goal to get 100,000 and start getting
Right.
people involved and whatever. So,
Yeah.
so in honor of the new channel, new name, I'm gonna have a banana.
Oh, we love that. I'm gonna have some watermelon. Because we're fucking fruits, bitch. I'm so excited to explore this with you too, because we really just get to unabashedly focus on the things that we really care about and not have to always be like although I care about other aspects of the queer community and I want them to be seen and heard and felt, I can't do that for them. I can only do that for the group that I'm a part of. And I'm so excited to see where that takes us, knowing what
Yeah.
we've all tried already.
And I'd love to talk about you and I off camera, whatever. We talk about our experiences on, Grinder and,
Yeah.
and on the dating sites and whatever. And then, we can talk about that because these are experiences that, most gay men have,
Yeah.
And so,
Absolutely.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that's just one example, but there's many other things. So
Yeah.
anyway,
So that's the news. A lot of changes. And then the final surprise was that Queer Network has done us well and is bringing us back to a moment where we're changing it back to the gay men channel, folks.
but what's interesting is calling it the Gay Men Channel. I mean, there's no question what it is.
Yeah.
I think there's still a lot of people's like queer network. Okay, what exactly is that?
Yeah.
You know? Um, so it's even more like very self-explanatory what it is.
Yeah. And I think there's an opportunity for us both to really be proud of that
Hmm.
and own it. And it feels easier to own it because of it represents us and it's something we would want to see out there. We're going to be doing things that are the things we as gay men would like to see out there more of. And
Yeah.
that's why it resonates so much to even talk about it.
Well, and that's what I hope too, that it will help people who are watching and listening also own it.
And offer something else to gay men than what we already see in media, which can
Yeah.
sometimes be stereotypical and sometimes like I love RuPaul's Drag Race, but not every gay man does.
Yeah.
And so there's an opportunity for other things to be created for gay men.
Okay.
Well, so exciting. I'm so excited to do this with you. And thank you guys for watching, always supporting, even if you don't like, we said the engagement always hasn't been there, but we always know that like if this touches one person, then it was
Yeah.
worth the time and effort that we put into it. So
And we're
thank you.
hoping to change that. We're hoping to get more engagement and more like, this is going to be, again, it's going to evolve as we go along. It's a work in progress. We have some things to fall back on. I think we're going to take a little bit of everything we've done in the
Yep.
last 7 years
Yep.
and lean on that a little bit and really try and see like not only what we thought maybe worked, but also what was very exciting for us to do. The Gay Men channel is back.
That's the T right there. The Gay Men channel is back, and you are welcome to be a part of it.
Exactly.
There'll be more.
All
Stay
right.
tuned.
Bye.
Bye.